Lord Frey requires a formal apology for your violation of your sacred oath to marry one of his daughters.
Oh, he knows about it.
He deserves as much. I was in the wrong. We will do whatever we can to give Lord Frey what he needs.
Not what. Whom?
What? No.
Our father requires Lord Edmure to wed one of his daughters, Roslyn.
How old is she?
19.
Could I see her first?
You want to count her teeth?
He's gonna have to go through with it.
He's a proud man, and we've wounded him.
I didn't wound him. My answer is no.
If you refuse, our alliance with the Freys is dead.
He's wanted me for one of his daughters since I was 12. He's not going to stop wanting it now.
If we don't do this and do it now, we're lost.
Go
I'll
on.
marry her.
You're paying for my sins, Uncle. I'll remember it.
You're Stark Bannerman, Lord Bolton. I am acting on Lady Stark's orders to return Jaime Lannister to King's Landing.
When King Robb left Harrenhal, his mother was his prisoner. If she wasn't his mother, he'd have hanged her for treason. Perhaps the safest thing to do is to kill you both and burn your bodies.
It would be, if you honestly believed my father would never find out about it.
King Robb is keeping your father quite busy. He doesn't have time for anything else.
He'll make time for you.
As soon as you're well enough to travel, I will allow you to go to King's Landing as restitution for the mistakes my soldiers made. And you will swear to tell your father the truth, that I had nothing to do with your maiming. Oh, she won't be going with you.
What? Charged with bringing Sir Jaime to...
You are charged with abetting treason.
I'm afraid I must insist.
You're in no place to insist on anything.
Impossible.
Why?
My grandson is the pride of Highgarden, the most desirable bachelor in all 7 kingdoms. Your daughter
is rich, the most beautiful woman in all 7 kingdoms. The only thing that might turn it are details of your grandson's nocturnal activities. Do you deny them?
Oh, not at all. A sword swallower through and through.
Well, a boy with his affliction should be grateful for the opportunity to marry the most beautiful woman in the kingdoms and remove the stain from his name.
True, we don't tie ourselves in knots over a discreet bit of buggery, but... brothers and sisters. Where I come from, that stain would be very difficult to wash out.
Now, if the rumors about my children were true, then Joffrey is no king at all, and House Tyrell is throwing its prize flower into the dirt.
And if Cersei is too old to give Laura's children, we're throwing another prize flower into the dirt.
If you refuse to marry Loras to Cersei, I will name him to the King's Guard. I'm sure you're familiar with the King's Guard's vows. He will never marry. He will never have children.
No.
The Tyrell name will fade. So, shall I draw up the order? Or do you consent to this match?
Screw that. I don't even really get what they're gonna do anyway. Will you keep... Quick, sort out! Yeah, you're in the shit now, mate. Just gonna chop his balls off.
That's a wonderful pin.
It's more of a brooch, really. Well, I suppose a brooch is a sort of pin, so...
It's so awkward.
Don't suppose there's anything we can do about this?
You'd have them both killed.
It's hard to say which of the 4 of us is getting the worst of this arrangement. Probably Sansa.
If it weren't for your trick with the wildfire, Stannis would have sacked the city before Father got here. Our heads would still be rotting on the city gate.
Trying to have me killed is an odd way of saying thank you. Did you, or did you not, order Sir Mandon to kill me during the Battle of the Blackwater? The impulse I understand. He hates me because I'm the only one who tells him what he really is. Orders a king's guard to murder the hand of the king in full view of his own army. The boy's an idiot.
Joffrey will belong to Marjorie, the little doe-eyed whore. And so will his children and their children. History will be taken from our hands.
Jaime or not, I'm truly fucked.
Who's going to tell her?
Good afternoon, Lord Tyrion. I was just trying on a gown for King Joffrey's wedding.
Yes, it should be quite a wedding. I need to speak with you, Lady Sansa. Sometimes we think we want to hear something. And it's only afterwards, when it's too late, that we realize we wished we'd heard it under entirely different circumstances.
It's all right, really.
How to begin?
I'm loving this.
This is awkward.
It is flattering, really. You feeling such dread at the prospect of me getting what I want.
Thwarting you has never been my primary ambition, I promise you.
When I thwarted your plan to give Sansa Stark to the Tyrells, I'm going to be honest, I did feel an unmistakable sense of enjoyment there.
But your confidant, the one who fed you information about my plans, the one you swore to protect, you didn't bring her any enjoyment. And she didn't bring me any enjoyment. She was a bad investment on my part.
Luckily, I have a friend who wanted to try something new, and he was so grateful to me for providing this. Many who try to climb it fail, never get to try again. The fall breaks them.
Fuck.
And some are given a chance to climb. They refuse. Cling to the realm, or the gods, or love.
Oh, some more over there as well. Pretty cool shot though. That was quick. So that was Game of Thrones Season 3 Episode 6, The Climb. Yeah, lots to cover in this one as well. They're really cramming lots of stuff in these episodes, and it's going to be really difficult to try and edit as it is, because there's so many bits I want to try and get in there. What did we have? So we had a great meeting between Alanna and Tywin Lannister. That was a meeting of the great minds, if you like. Tywin basically has said to her that her son Loras has to marry Cersei, and she wasn't too happy about that, and it got to the point where you think, oh, something's going to happen here, because he said if she didn't agree to it, that he would make Loras join the King's Guard, and he was about to sign the paperwork, and she caved, and I didn't think she would, because she's quite hard-headed herself, but she agreed that okay, that's going to have to happen. And we saw Tyrion confront Cersei about if it was her that actually put the death sentence on him, if you like, at Blackwater. Now I'm not a bit confused, because she didn't say that it wasn't her, but then he seemed to think that it was Joffrey that had done it, so I'm not 100% sure who did what now. But she's not happy either about the situation, and it's going to be very interesting when Jaime gets back to King's Landing, if she's going to be marrying to Loras. And Tyrion also then obviously had to go and tell Sansa that she's to marry him. I wish they'd kept that scene a bit longer because I'd like to have seen him actually telling her, but it kind of built up and then you just have to assume, because then you see Sansa sort of crying as she sees the ship, I think, sailing away, and she's kind of lost her opportunity to sort of leave. I do feel sorry for her, I really do. But then she should have left. She had plenty of chances to leave, let's face it. A really horrible scene was when Littlefinger confronts Varys and tells her that he's given Ross to a friend to do some really dark, horrible thing to her. And we find out that the friend is actually Joffrey right at the end, and he's killed her. I mean, the guy's a prick, let's face it. So yeah, Littlefinger is someone to not mess with, basically, I think. And now he's left. I don't know what's going to happen now. We went back to the Brotherhood, and suddenly Melisandre appeared from nowhere. That's a weird one. I wasn't expecting that at all. She came to claim Gendry because, of course, he's royal blood, and she needed someone with royal blood. And Arya confronts her, and Melisandre kind of looks into her eyes and says something about visions of people that she can see or something, and then says, "We will meet again," which was a bit scary. And then you just see Gendry just getting taken off in a cart, which I was gutted about because I love Gendry, and I don't know what's going to happen there. Really don't know what's going to happen. I'm a bit worried about Gendry now. We saw Robb. He's now had to apologise to Lord Frey for obviously marrying someone else. I think he got away light there, to be honest. And now his uncle has got to marry one of Lord Frey's daughters instead. Which is quite a big sacrifice, and it was Robb's fault in the first place. But now he might get that army that he's looking for, but I still don't think it's going to make any difference. But we'll see. We'll see how far that goes. Yeah, and we saw Roose Bolton, who is the guy who's in charge of the place where Jaime's being held at the moment, and he's agreed that Jaime can go back to King's Landing as long as he keeps his word and makes it clear that to his father that it wasn't them that caused all the the arm, the hand being chopped off, and all the way that he's been treated. He wants some, and he says he'll keep his word, but he won't let Brienne go, even though Jaime insisted on it. He said no, she's not going anywhere. So I don't know what's going to happen there, because surely Brienne must be able to go because she's Kat's sort of protector, isn't she? So I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't really see how long they can really keep her there. We only saw one scene with Bran where he kind of breaks up a fight between Osha and Mira, because they were just bickering like two kids about who's the best hunter, who can skin rabbits better and all that, and that was quite funny. But and also I can't remember the guy's name, Mira's brother, but I thought he was having like an epileptic fit, but apparently that's how strong now his visions are. It leads him to have like almost like a sort of a fit or like a convulsion kind of thing on the floor, which is a little bit unnerving, because I don't know if Bran's going to have to go through that as well when he gets further on, I think. We saw Theon again being tortured, and his captor basically played this really weird game with him where you had to guess who he was and where he was being held. If he didn't, he cut his finger off, and even when he thought he guessed right and the captor admitted, yeah, that's who I am and that's where you're being held, he then said, no, actually I'm lying, it's not that at all, which is a weird game he's playing. I don't see how Theon's going to get out of this, unless he gets rescued by someone. That's the only way I can see he's getting out. But it was a horrible scene when he's ripping into his finger. It was, horrible. We saw one quick clip of Sam and his new family. He couldn't even get a fire right. It's just a disaster. But again, they're not really explaining. He said he's a few days away from the wall. So I guess, do you know what? I don't think he's going to make it, or I think he's going to get captured by the remaining people that killed Castra. Yeah, I'm dreading it, because Sam, bless him, he's got a heart of gold, but he's not the type that's going to be able to defend her, I don't think. And we saw quite a bit of the kind of Ygritte, Jon thing. She's basically sussed him out and said, look, I know you're still part of the Night Watch, really, and that's where your loyalties are. But she sort of said, now, we're together now and we're the most important thing. So she was kind of saying the same thing about the wildlings, that she said, if we die, it doesn't matter, they'll just replace us with other people. And obviously they started climbing the wall, and the guy with the one that can sort of communicate with the animals, he cut their rope as they were going up. But luckily Jon managed to sort of save them at the last second. So So I hope they're going to get payback on that guy for doing that, because I wouldn't have been happy with that at all. And they managed to get to the top of the wall and sort of looked over and saw sort of the green lands from south of the wall. So I don't quite know what happens now, because there didn't seem to be very many of them, unless there were thousands of them all the way along, but I don't think there were. So I don't know quite what their purpose was. Perhaps it was like a spy mission, not sure, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So so that kind of wraps it up for episode 6. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and like and comment and hit the bell and be part of this amazing community that we've got. It's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I shall see you guys soon in episode 7. Don't know what it's called, 'cause it's not on my DVD player. And yeah, take care of yourselves, look after each other, and stay safe. And I shall see you very, very soon. All right, bye.